it doesn't have to be perfect to tell your story. It doesn't have to be perfect to tell your truth. That's the message I want to get out before I start telling this part of my story. I was just here trying to make sure the lighting was good, that was good, this was on, that was on. You can't see the reflection of the ring light of my glasses. Who gives a fuck? Tell your story, break that cycle. Know that your voice matters. I'm holding the kyanite to guide me. This is for the throat chakra, kyanite. And so childhood was really rough. So it started out very, very rough. I never knew my real father until I was 16. My stepfather was my real father, and you know, I've healed from that situation, but he wasn't really a good stepfather. And that was because he hasn't healed from stuff that he's gone through in his childhood. I'm not going into that. That's not my story to tell. But it was things in his childhood that he probably didn't heal, and he probably wasn't ready to have, you know, 2 kids, and they're not even his. You know what I mean? So my stepdad has a real good heart, you know, to be with a woman who already has 2 children, 2 young boys at that. You know, that's kind of rough. And I always look back and think, yeah, that's kind of rough, getting with someone who, you know, already has 2 children, how much stress that could be. And then you guys having a kid shortly after that. And then, you know, it was just a lot of stress. And me looking back on it, it has me in a forgiving energy. But I still want to tell my story. There was a lot of trauma that was inflicted on me. And I know that I'm not the only one. And by me telling my story, it will help someone, because I literally thought it was only me. I literally thought I'm only going through this. I literally thought, what the actual fuck? I literally thought, is this ever gonna get better? Is something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? And is there something wrong with me started very young. My brother is, you know, light skinned with, you know, we have the same hair texture, light skinned, but, you know, he's 6 foot. And I mean, we weren't always, you know, tall, but you get where I'm going with this. We were total opposites, you know? And that's where it started. My grandmother, my mother's mother, starting with the that house nigga shit. You know what I mean? And that's the only way I know how to say it. But like, you know, back in the day, back in the slave days, you know, like house nigga, slave nigga, like, and she would never call us that, of course. I don't know what her actual mental thoughts were, but they favored my brother. And who's to say it wasn't because he was light skinned? Who's to say it wasn't because he was the first grandchild? Who's to say it wasn't because whatever? Who's to say it was because that she really liked my dad? He wasn't around and my brother looked just like my dad. Who's to say? What we could say is my mom ain't like my dad, so that's all that matters. And there was a lot of emotional trauma I remember very vividly, even now as a 37-year-old man. Yes, 37. Did I look good? Anyway, yes, as a 37-year-old man, I still remember these traumas. I still remember like trauma from when I was 3. The situation I told you about when I remember my stepdad outside of the house, that I was around 3 or 4 years old. I was no 7 or 8. You know, I was like 3 or 4. You know, my Aunt Ellen lived downstairs. God bless her. She kind of like raised me, basically. My mom was very busy. She was a single mother. She had 2 young boys, so she worked. My mother worked. I think her first job that I remember was at a bank. I remember at the airport, and then, well, I don't remember her at the airport. I was too young, but I remember at the bank, and then she became a correction officer. And that's the job she had up until I graduated high school. Both of my mom and my stepdad were both correction officers at Rikers Island in New York City. If anyone doesn't know about that, Google it. And I come from a family of correction officers and law enforcement, okay? So everyone in my family was either a CO or a correction officer, CO, or a police officer, or, you know, in that type of field. So I grew up in a very, very strict household. My stepfather was very strict. Very, very strict. We had chores every day. People say, oh, that's normal. No, we had like, I don't think he knew how to separate himself from his job when he came home. And he always stayed in that mode. And that was a hindrance to me and my brother. I don't know how much it affected him, maybe different ways. He's not an empath, you know, so I don't know how it affected him, but it affected me a lot because, you know, I was the one who stood out, not for the ways that are good back, you know, considered back then. I was just very dainty, quiet, or making, you know, trouble or acting out. So it was very hard for me to get the proper and love and attention that I really deserved and needed because I had parents who had so much trauma from their childhood that was not cured or paid attention to that I didn't get what I deserved because they never healed their shit. So I got their shit, their parents' shit probably, and then my shit in the middle. Yeah, I'm stuttering. My shit in the middle, and they didn't know how to handle me. Not to mention, I stuck out like a green thumb. Like I stuck out like out of all like my play cousins. I didn't grow up around my father's family, so I didn't have a lot of cousins that were blood at all. I didn't have a lot of cousins that were blood at all, actually, and so I grew up with a lot of play cousins from Queens that were actually inherited from my mom. These are her people that she grew up with. These are her friends that she grew up with that became her family. And they might be saying, we are her family. You're not her family. Y'all grew up together. Y'all not blood. Because when shit happened, y'all made niggas know y'all ain't blood. But we'll get to that in a second. They'll be like, whoa, but we ain't do nothing. Oh, girl, please. Shut up. It's on the energy. You ain't gotta say shit. You ain't gotta do shit. It's on the fucking energy. I remember a lot of shit from back in the day. You and your... listen, okay? We'll get to all that. I always felt different growing up. I always felt like I had to like be like my older brother. Always. My grandmother would instill that in me, my mom. And like I said, there's nothing verbal you have to say. Although there were verbal things that were said. It's all about the energy and how I'm treated. You know, I was never treated fairly. It was just things that were done over and over again to me that were just like, damn, like what the fuck? Like it can't be because I have a bad attitude. It can't be because I'm that bad of a child. I wasn't in juvie and shit. I wasn't attacking. Like, come on. Like, it's just my mother purposely was mean to me. My mother was purposely narcissistic, mean, and evil to me. And my grandmother too, her mother. They both were mean to me. They both were very, very mean to me. So imagine your mother and your grandmother being mean to you and favoring your older brother. And for a while, it was only me and my older brother. We're like Irish twins. We're only like a year and some months apart. So he might be 38 right now. He's turning 39 in March. So as you see, we're not that far apart. And imagine growing up in that dynamic. It's very rough. It's very emotionally scarring and physically scarring as well. I can tell you a story and two different stories that will intertwine. This story goes back to when me and my brother were both young. We were playing in South Ozone Park in the backyard. We were probably being bad as hell, but who cares? That's what kids fucking do. Anyway, something happened. My brother threw up one of those plastic Fisher-Price chairs. The back of my head, I still have the scar right here. Probably not, yeah, they want me to tell the story. Probably not as big as it was back then. I was probably like 5 or 6 when it happened. Came inside, gushing blood, Brother got in no trouble. Nothing at all. No trouble. Little puppy, what happened? Oh, I hit through a chair. It was an accident. Okay. Fast forward to now we moved to Rosedale, maybe 2 years later, maybe 3 years later. A similar kind of thing happened. Me and my brother were arguing, like as per usual, as kids. And he was always bullying me. He was always a fucking bully. It's a fucking bully. He knew he would never get in trouble. He knew he never really get, and he knew they always would blame me. Because I have a track record of getting in trouble in school, whatever. I was spiritually in tune, even back then. That's why at ADD, I was probably talking to spirits and channeling stuff and didn't know what I was doing because I was young. I was a child. My gifts were not, what's the word I want to use? We're not, mentored. So I remember this day, me and my brother were fighting in the kitchen in Rosedale, Queens, New York, and I didn't know what else to do. He's fucking with me, like always. So I took a spatula. I know he remembers this fucking story, asshole. I took the spatula and I went like this to scare him, and the flip part of the spatula flew off, bam, right in his forehead, and he gushing blood everywhere. So I got my ass whooped. I got in trouble. Oh my god, yeah, you okay? Mind you, when that happened to me, nothing, like nothing at all. I don't know what that was. Was that there the whole time? You guys saw that? You ain't tell me? I'm just joking. I don't know what that was really. Probably some food that I had eaten, like a turkey burger. Anyway, let's move forward. So, like situations like that kept happening. Situations just like that, where it was an equal amount of fucked up shit, and I get in trouble, I get blamed, and he gets nothing. I'll give you another example. Now we're a little bit older now. We're both in middle school now. He probably might have been 8th. I probably might have been 6th. It was bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah time in our community where we lived, because we lived in a predominantly Jewish community out in Dick Hills, Long Island, Suffolk County. So it was my first bat mitzvah. I was really excited to go. You already know where the stories go. I was really excited to go. So excited. My mom we went out, we got like shoes, Mind you, she made me like last minute, like didn't make me think I wasn't gonna go, and we weren't poor. It was like she just didn't like me. My mom just didn't fucking like me. That's all it is to it. And we'll get back to why I believe she doesn't like me after this story. Let me just write down the first letter of the word. Yeah, I gotta tell that because that's important. So it's time to go to this bat mitzvah. So my brother in school, he was kind of popular. He was in the sports teams, and light skin, curly hair, Albie Shore type of coolie ass nigga. You know what I mean? So he was on the basketball team, and I think he got into a hazing kind of situation with another guy. His name was Andre Laurie. I remember this so specifically. And anyone who goes to school with me will know, like, damn, he must be telling the truth. He remembers these fucking stories, these names. Yeah, it was Andre Laurie and all his friends, Sean Washington, John Menifee, they kind of hazed the boy in the locker room, and they beat him up. I don't know, it wasn't that bad, but they beat him up, and my brother got suspended. They all got suspended, right? But Andre Laurie was in my grade. My brother was like in 8th. Andre Laurie's in my grade, right? I don't even know how. Like, how? But he got in trouble. From school, got in trouble. Suspended. But he was able to go out that same day. Go out and have fun. Little yelling at, nothing serious. He got scolded at home. I don't know what I did when I go to his bar mitzvah. I think I might have commented on him not getting in trouble, and my grandmother did one of her witchery shit she usually does back in the day, and lied to my mom like she usually does about me, lie because she's jealous and mean and evil and bitter. Oh yeah, we're going there. And she was probably doing spell work back then too. That's why her life was in shambles back then, and my grandfather's life, probably both doing spell work. Nasty behinds. Anyway, and I remember very vividly, after my grandmother convinced my mom to not let me go, she goes, and that's why you're not going to that bat mitzvah. How evil can you be? She saw how excited I was. I even was asking my friend about, what is a bar mitzvah? Let's be really inquisitive about bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, because this is I was in 6th grade, so we had only been living in Long Island for a year. We moved there when I was in 5th grade, so. And it was just little things like that, and many things happen like that. Many small things and big things happen like that. Before that situation, in between, after, it just kept happening when they kept favoring him blatantly in my face, and that's without you saying, we don't like you, something's wrong with you, you are inadequate. You don't have to say these things to these kids or these people. You are telling them kids are very in tune, kids are very aware. And at that age, in sixth grade, I'm a kid. I'm not an adult. I'm not a teenager. I'm an adolescent. I'm a kid. And they were treating me so horribly. Even then, I said, damn, this can't be fucking normal. This can't be fucking normal. And they would look at it and say, Yamiek, you were bad. You were just a bad kid. No. Y'all probably told me I was bad, and I started believing that shit and started fucking behaving badly. Just like y'all told me I was shy. I wasn't fucking shy. Y'all told me I was shy, and then that's why I didn't want to go down the Soul Train line. You know that story. People who's my family were watching. That's why I didn't want to do that. And I didn't dance for years, when I probably would have been a really talented dancer. But no. I mean, a nigga can still dance. Like, you got rhythm. But I'm talking about, I wanted to go to alley. I wanted to, be a dancer, darling. But no. No. So, there's many reasons why I feel like my mom doesn't like me. And this is a trigger warning. So, if you don't want to go deep down this journey with me, I suggest you click off. There's other sections of this documentary or whatever we're going to call this you can watch. But for this one right here, it gets deep. So when I was a kid, I found a letter that my father, my birth father, had written my mom from jail. And he had claimed that my mom wanted to abort me. Yeah. And you don't want me to tell the story. And just reading that as a kid was just like, and I was very in tune, so I knew what abortion was. I knew all these. I read this. I found this letter in Rosedale, so I'm pretty sure the letter was not written when we lived there because it was packed away in things. I'm pretty sure the letter was written when we lived in South Ozone Park, Queens. We moved there to Rosedale, and then we moved to Long Island. So, so I'm a Queens kid through and through. Even though I lived in Long Island for a number of years, I am Queens, not a queen, but Queens. So just as a kid, seeing that letter and my dad telling her it wasn't rape, and obviously they had this conversation before. I'm just intuitively guessing that she said it was rape. And I don't defute her term. I'm not saying that he did not do that. Back in the day, he was a flaming cokehead. He was probably abusive verbally and physically to her, and he was a drug addict, and he was a drug dealer, and he was notoriously known around 40 projects in Queens. So I'm pretty sure he had a whole lifestyle back in the 80s that was not savory. You see I'm trying to catch this light the right way. I just hate when the ring light shows and you can't really see my eyes because that's important. So I'm gonna sit back. So it was just really a lot growing up, me just finding out a lot really early, and just knowing that once I found out what raped really meant, I was just like, oh Lord, like damn. And then I found out that she wanted an abortion, like she didn't want me. So I kind of feel that, like I still feel like that residual, like, I don't know, you guys. I hope you guys understand where I'm trying to come from here. And by me revealing that, it's nothing about trying to put my mom out there. It's about my fucking story. This is my story. This is what I went through. This is what the things that I experienced. And it's going to help somebody. I know it. It already has helped people. People have written me. Emails and comments and stuff. So I know that it's reaching somebody. And I know it's not going unheard. But I wasn't protected as a child. I wasn't protected at all, and for that, I have also trauma as well. I was not protected. I was touched, and it was very close to home. And for that, I feel like I have issues as well with intimacy and getting close with people, and finding a mate and finding a partner is very hard for me. Not because of the sexual abuse, but because of just getting close to somebody, trusting someone. Being vulnerable with people. You might say, damn, you're vulnerable with us. That's kind of different. This is like, I feel like I'm just here talking to you guys, and I hope you feel the same way. And if you meet me in person, you will see I'm literally the same way. Like, I'm probably more open in person. I'm literally the same way once I get to know you. I'm the same Yamiek in person. I just have clothes on, better clothes. But I'm the same person. So just knowing those little comments when I was like, those little, incidences when I was a kid about her wanting to get an abortion, my mom, and her feeling my dad raped her, then him never being there, and then him meeting me I'm meeting him when I was 17. And I'm like, well, if someone raped you, I would never want them to see my kids. I don't care what the situation was. I would never want to even see them in person. My mom literally dropped me off to meet my dad for the first time. So I know if a nigga raped me, I don't give a fuck. Aunt TT gonna take him. Aunt somebody, little one, somebody gonna take him. But I ain't gonna take him. So that story kind of to me was like, how true is that story? Because I know the nigga who fucking sexually assaulted me, if that was my partner, we had a kid together, gay or not, I wouldn't be dropping off the kids to that nigga. I know it's two different situations, but sexual assault is sexual fucking assault here. Okay? Let's just call it spade a spade. I noticed that earlier. I'm not saying she was lying, but I want to still respect her if she was a victim. But I'm just saying the evidence is saying it wasn't fucking rape. Okay. Maybe she didn't want a child, a second one with him. That's probably what it was. She probably made that decision early after the first one. She did not want a second child with this man. And then here I come, looking just like her. And I probably came out, she probably was pissed about that too. Damn, he looked just like me. I mean, I look just like my father too, but I look a lot like my mother. I think I'm a perfect mixture of both of them actually. My older brother looks just like my dad. My older brother looks nothing like my mom. My older brother looks nothing like my mom. But me, I think I look like both of them. A perfect mixture of them both, literally. And usually first kids look like that, no? But whatever. I do remember certain adults in my childhood that stuck up for me and always kind of like voiced up for me in my childhood, let me say. This is gonna be hard, you guys. Okay, my Uncle Just. He was just a great guy. He always stuck up for me. I think he saw like a lot of like the favoritism and a lot of the hurt it caused me as a child. And I think he had a capability of discerning a lie from a truth very easily without needing to hear all the fucking facts. My uncle was a gangster, okay? Google Black Just from Supreme Team and that whole legacy. So my uncle was a gangster. He wasn't with part of Supreme Team, but yeah. So Google my uncle, okay? But I say all that to say, not to brag on his name or the clout, but I learned a lot from my uncle, and I'm still taking things that I've seen or heard him say and instilling it in my life. Like he was just such a stand-up person, negating the fact of his street lifestyle. That has nothing to do with me. He was an amazing uncle. He always stuck up for me. He always made sure that I got what I deserved when he was around. None of that favoritism shit was going on. And he always made his comments in regards to my mother when she saw that I was being mistreated. She probably won't even remember. I remember little comments he would make like, why are you doing that to him? Or that's all it takes for a parent to be, damn, like they notice? Yeah, nigga. People might notice. But he was one of the only ones that I really can't name any other people that, stuck up for me. And when I said he was one of the only ones, because he's not with us anymore. He has passed on. And I probably will talk about that later on because he passed on when I was, in high school. So I want to leave that for when I talk about my high school years and how that affected me during high school, because I was a freshman when that happened. So he was around in my life for a long time, and I'm very, very grateful for that, and his presence and his energy and his nature. And he was just a cool fucking uncle. I remember he would just like make us curse. Like, he was like, I know your mom's ain't gonna let you curse, you know what I mean? But say fuck you, like, say bitch, like, say it. You know what I mean? That's like, you might be like, that's toxic, but it was just like, just getting us out of our shell, like, just making us shake it off and just being happy, like, and just doing stuff like, you remember he was the first one that me and my brother heard Biggie with, you know? And my uncle, he knew all the cool people. He knew, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, Nas, Irv Gotti, Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston. He knew everybody. He knew a lot of very famous people. He was very well known, very, very loved and liked. And his name still rings bells, okay? His name still fucking rings bells. And I believe a lot of times when I was in danger, my uncle was watching over me. Sometimes I would smell like his jupe cologne. He would wear like jupe cologne or black soap. I just like things that he would smell like. I remember. Anytime I see a forerunner, I would think about him. Just things that he would just do or say. Like, he used the word kid a lot. What's up, kid? I would just laugh. Like, he was just a funny character. And he just I remember him just always living his best life, and he always wanted to protect us as well, because the times when he was, he would call it, I forgot what he would say when he was away at jail. I forgot what he would call it. We're kids. Something funny, something cheeky and funny, like to the point where we knew what he was saying, jail, but he would never want to say that to us. What would he say? I forgot. I forgot what he would call it. Like, it was just really funny. Like things like that he would do. Like, you'd be like Uncle Just, we know you're going away for a little while. Like, you don't gotta say it's camp or school. I forgot what he would call it. But just like that's like me thinking about him right now. I know anyone that knows my uncle knows his energy, knows how he is, and knows like that energy I'm talking about. Like, he was just like a cool cat, you know what I mean? Ooh, he was just a cool guy, man. Damn. Ooh. But see how I'm not, like, as soon as I start thinking about him, I get happy, because he wouldn't want me to be sad. He would want me to be happy. He would be so happy what I'm doing right now. My uncle, would be so happy about what I'm doing right now. Because if he was here, I would already be put on already. I would be famous. I would be in the industry. I'd have had many industry jobs. I would have been working with this one, that one, because he was just that nigga. He would make one phone call, like, even though let him start out as an intern, but put my nephew in there. And that's all it takes. It's all about who you know. It's all about who you know. I had another person in my life, and I want to give her the proper acknowledgement. My godmother, Lene Faust. She was a special woman. I don't think I'm still not okay from her passing, because it was more recent, Ooh, God. She became my self-appointed godmother. She was not on the list of godparents when I got baptized. Let me just say that. She appointed herself godmother of me, because me and her just had like a kindred spirit. She probably was my mother in the past life. She probably was. Or my sister or sibling. And she had children of her own, but she always made sure that I was being treated fairly. And she always stuck up to my mother. There was only a few that my mom wouldn't buck back at. And it was Uncle Just, my Aunt Manita, and Lene Faust. Those three, she wasn't bucking back at. And there wasn't no one else to protect me after after they passed on. Not my Aunt Benita, she's still with us, thank God. But my grandmother Lene passed on, and my Uncle Just was murdered. I'm gonna say that, he was murdered. With those people, I with my mediumship now, my mediumship abilities, I know that they're with me. I know that my grandmother Lene is with me. I know that. I know for sure. I know for sure she guides me, and she's really upset about the relationship between me and my god sisters. But you know, she has to understand that disrespect cannot be tolerated. And I'll talk about that later as well when I go, you know, down more of the stories. This is only part one, you guys. This is part one, childhood trauma. And childhood trauma is real. It's nothing to be to just play around with and be like, oh, this is something light. No. I'm still dealing with childhood trauma stuff from when I was a kid now. And I'm pretty sure my mom is. She doesn't know it. My stepfather is. He doesn't know it. I like to leave him out because he's just he has nothing to do with this, I feel like, a lot. And he has something to do with a lot of my childhood trauma. Yes, he was very, very mean to me when I was a kid. I don't even think he knew that he was being mean. It affected me a lot. You know, called me a girl, you know. I got beat a lot, physically beat a lot. They don't probably remember it being a lot. It was a lot. You might say, well, Dad, what was you doing? I needed special attention. I was a special child, and they didn't know how to do it. The best remedy was to beat his ass. Put him on punishment. Put him in the corner. Put him in the corner with his hands up and let him kneel and rice. Hard right. Like, those were the remedies for a child that needed special attention in the 90s. I don't know what that was about. Having parents who are not emotionally available. That's what it is. Having parents that are not emotionally available, having parents who are not equipped to handle multiple kids, but keep having them. And that's no shade, it's just the fucking truth. You know, at that point, my parents already had me, my brother, and those are not my stepfather's kids. And they had one kid together, my brother, who later became autistic, so that's a task in itself. That's like 3 kids in one, dealing with him. And then they had my sister after that. Then they had their final kid, another sister. So it was like, I didn't get even a chance to even get any real attention. Like, it was like, no space for me. You know, so, because right after she left my dad, she met my stepfather. So she didn't have any space in between, really, like, where she was really mothering. And that's maybe it's a slight to her. Who knows? I'm not saying we were on the street begging for food, but mothering, nurturing your kids, taking a time to take a break and not date and not be with nobody and just date. And then right after that, she got married to my dad, my stepfather. So it was, you know, it was very quick. I don't know how long they dated. I don't know how long. They got married in 1988 or 9. I don't know. I was like 5 or 4 when they got married. So they got married very fast. I was very young at their wedding, I remember. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was very, very young. So I meant to be 4 or 5, if that. And that's when they got married. So they were together for a long time before that. So that's what I'm saying to you guys. She should have, you know, given time to her kids. There are 2 young boys who needed time. Their real father wasn't around. There was a lot. I'm just playing with my crystals here. I just feel as though as I get older, I'm realizing that my mother and my stepfather did what they knew to do. They didn't have the tools. They didn't have the maturity or the emotional maturity to deal with a kid like me. My older brother was much more, you know, self-sufficient in that way. I guess he didn't need a lot of emotional attention, or maybe he got it elsewhere. Him and my stepfather bonded over sports, and you know, I didn't play sports. I didn't do the traditional things. Like, my mom didn't give me attention. My stepfather didn't give me attention. My real dad wasn't there. My grandfather didn't give me attention. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother didn't really fuck with me like that. And they all in the same house. Like it's a very toxic house growing up. From South Ozone Park was toxic. Then Rosedale was very toxic. And then living in Dix Hills was toxic the whole entire time. Imagine growing up in a house in Dix Hills, or wherever you live in the house, and you have your mother's parents there, who both of them are fresh out of, recovery and rehab. Yeah, both of them. And then you have your parents who are not emotionally available. You have all of them in the house living together, trying to help raise kids. They just moved to this place. It's ridiculous. It's a whole toxic soup. It's a whole toxic soup. And I was in that house taking on all these fucking energies, not knowing why I feel this way. No wonder I was failing in school. No wonder I was in special ed. No wonder I was not doing good in school, because I was dealing with probably my grandmother giving me fucking evil eye. My grandfather fucking giving me evil eye. My mom fucking acting like she don't fucking like me. My stepfather acting like I'm the only fucking don't even fucking exist. He called me a girl, or trying to beat me, or taking out anger on me. Like, yeah, we go in there because even though I've forgiven these people, we have to talk about this. This has to be talked about. People have to be held accountable for the things they do. Just like they held me accountable for all the shit I did and blacklisted me and shunned me. That's holding me accountable and telling me I'm doing. So now I have to hold other people accountable too. And the way I'm doing that is telling my story. And now we're talking about it again. This is it. I know people are like, where are all these different things coming from? This is it. This is the story. And breaking the cycle, my story, finally reclaiming my time. And it was actually, we're finally reclaiming the narrative, but Maxine Waters is with me. I'm reclaiming my fucking time too. So, it was very, 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 very rough. I don't think that I don't even know how I'm still here from the childhood shit alone. That deserves some sort of accolade. Shit. Like, and once my mom had my sister, that was it. Like, my other sister, I really was null and void. I didn't exist. I didn't fucking even exist. My mom never even, I remember, my mom didn't even really maybe say I love you. Never give us hugs. No, I love you, no hugs. My mom probably said I love you once or twice, 5 times. I'm being very generous here. My mom, and I mean, I literally saying I love you, and you're actually feeling like it's genuine. She couldn't even say those words. It's just like so hard for her. She probably doesn't even love herself. Who knows, child? So, that's better, right? You can see my eyes. Somebody said to put them back on. You forget I'm clear fucking audience. Even though this is the recorded video, I can still feel the energies when you listen here. I just want to say that in no way is this documentary or these installments in my story meant to hurt anybody. These are things that actually happened. And if you haven't healed from it, that is your issue. I have healed from these things. That's why I can talk about it and put myself out there to help other people to heal. If you're watching this and you did something to affect me and you're mentioned in one of these stories or one of these things, then that is your problem. You need to go sit down and heal. You need to go sit down and see a therapist. You need to go sit down and talk to somebody about your childhood trauma and why you felt there was a need to inflict trauma on somebody else, whether it was knowing or not knowing. But what I will say is I do forgive all these people. You might be like, damn, you telling these stories with passion. I'm a passionate ass motherfucker. I do everything with passion. I wake up with passion. I go to sleep with passion. I do my vlogs with passion. I do my readings with passion. I walk down the street with passion. I fucking brush my teeth with passion. Wash my ass with passion. I do everything with fucking passion. Clean my house with passion. Go to my client's house, clean their house with passion. Organize their closet with passion. I'm a passionate ass motherfucker. And that's what they try to water down. My passion, my drive, my tenacity, my chutzpah. They wanted to water it down. And mind you, as you see, I'm not that dark. And I love being brown skinned. Don't you ever fucking get it twisted. Even my grandmother saying that to me as a kid, and she said it to me as well. Even her doing that never did fucking deter me. Never fucking, even now, I love my brown skin. Love it. I have some of the nicest brown skin ever. I mean, who would? Anyway. But, you know, and you have to keep a good, jolly, you know, jovial attitude about these kind of things, because if you don't, it will bog you down. It will make you feel defeated. It will make you feel passionless or whatever the word is. By my ass in the thesaurus. It's something that people will have to look into themselves the next time they think about judging someone else's life, or how you think they got to a certain point, or how you think how they got to where they are now, or who helped them, or how they got there, or how their rent is paid, or how they doing this, or how they doing that, or whatever. Who the fuck are you to judge? Put that same energy, like I always say, I always bring it back to this. You putting your energy into tearing someone down, what they doing, what state they in. Ooh, that's good to know. That's where you at? Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, I know all that shit you were saying. You know, it's really important to stay focused on your main goal, no matter what is happening around you, no matter what you're going through. Stay focused on your main goal. Stay focused on you. Stay focused on what makes you happy. Whether that be eating jellyfish, not the one to see, you mean the candy fish. That's my favorite candy. Eating some jellyfish or whatever you call them, or fishies, and sitting in your bed watching, smoking a blunt. That makes you happy? Do that. If taking long walks makes you happy, do that. Do whatever makes you happy. Don't be concerned what other people think about you and your journey, or how you get in there, or how you got there, or your past specifically. Or stop letting people remind you of your past, or how you should forgive people, or don't let anyone to convince you need to forgive somebody, no matter what that person's going through and what they did to you. You forgive on your own, and forgiveness does not mean you have to talk to anybody. And that's where the misconception comes. That, oh, you forgave me, you got to talk to me. Oh no, you got it twisted, bitch. I don't got to talk to nobody, and neither do you. I'm choosing peace now. That's like y'all chose peace, and I wasn't invited to a barbecue, a gathering. Oh, you wasn't gonna come anyway. You don't know what I was gonna do. How was you gonna get there? The same way I got there, like I had to clean your house and do this and do that and do her and do that and go there and clean that for and closet for you. Yeah, the same way I got those other places, I could have got there too, but I couldn't come there because. Talk about that in other vlogs, other part of this documentary. Going off on a tangent here, but. The childhood trauma still, parts of it, not all of it, parts of it still hinder me. And I've done a lot of healing. Believe me, it was work. It was work, child. And I know I'm going to say this too. People say, if you're done healing, why are you talking about it? Those are the toxic people. Those are the people who are out there hurting people. Those are the people that are out there hurting people with the shit you're describing in your journey. Shit I'm describing. Those are people that I had doing the same thing to those people. People asking you why you telling your story, be quiet. Don't. Remember my grandfather told me one time, stop talking about that. Don't be. Why? Because you took a part in it too. That's why you want to be quiet. Because you took a main part in it. It's always the people who took part in it that want you to shh, shh. Be always calling you first with the shh. What you up to? What you do? The main people that took a part in your downfall, the main characters, the first people that call you out of nowhere. What you doing? Well, they haven't heard from you a while. They know you in good because they spied on you. You done spying yet? You see what you want to see? But yeah. So those look nice. Damn it. Anyway, I just want to say fake. No, bitch. Your breast is fake. Because half of y'all breast is fake. But anyway, how many people out there have experienced childhood trauma and still have to deal with their parents? I feel sorry for you. And I'm not saying in a sarcastic way. I'm saying in the way that because I know how long I dealt with the trauma and didn't have to still be around them. So I have to be around that energy. So I have to put on that mask to pacify their needs or to get what you need out of the situation. Because a lot of times when I was around these people, I didn't want to be around them. They probably didn't want to be around me. You damn sure don't want to be around me now. And at this point, I don't want to be around them either. I'm good. That's at the point of life that you should be too. When people show you who they are, and it's the same thing they can say for me. I showed them who I am. They want to stay away. Great. Thank you. Now that you show me who you really are, all of you, yeah, I'm definitely staying away from you guys. And when my abundance comes in, you will have not one part of it. And there's people, of course, who I will help out. There's a list. It's probably 5 people. I'm not naming them now. I don't want them to know who they are. I want them to keep in the same energy they are. The same people that I am considering helping out when I get my abundance, I want them to keep in the same energy. I'm not going to tell them who they are. I might tell people, I'm going to help you out get my abundance. And that was for a test. And those people that I've told that to, they have failed. So I'm just gonna, I know what I'm doing here. But this is about my childhood trauma. And I think the next section I'm gonna go into high school and how that affected me. And yeah. So I hope that this was informative. I hope that this gave you a little bit more insight about who I am, why the way I am, how I can shine my light now and be such of a big help to other people. Because I've been through it, but I'm still here. They try to do all that shit to me, and that's just in my childhood. I didn't even name everything they try to do, like just blatant, like be mean to me. I'm telling you one last story. I remember one time, listen to Close It Out with a banger, right? There's another time that I probably didn't do anything really bad or wrong, and I don't know why my mother would leave her children in the hands of people who just got fresh out of like recovery rehab. And who does that? I don't care if your parents or not. Like, you have your kids in the hands of your parents who just got both like out of like drug rehab. Theoretically, yes, drug rehab. And they were not nice to me. My grandfather and my grandmother, my mother's parents, they were not nice. And they were very fucking mean to me. Very fucking mean. Especially my grandmother. Very mean. Treated me horribly. Horribly, horribly, horribly. And treated everyone else nice. This particular day, I must have gotten in trouble for something. I don't know exactly what it was for. But my ass ended up on the floor. And them two are stomping on me, kicking me in my grandmother's room in the hallway, which is anyone been my mom's house, is the room across from the bathroom. That room was her room for a long time. That's now, I think, is my brother's room. But that room was her room for a very long time. The room across the street in the hallway in my mom's house, across the hall from the main bathroom in the hallway. Yeah, that was her room for a long time. And they were in that room, kicking me, stomping me, kicking me, stomping me. Yes. For whatever reason. Now, I don't care what a kid did. Unless I murdered someone, hit someone, did something so bad, why are you kicking me and stomping me while I'm laying on the floor as a kid? I might have been in 5th grade. That's the shit I'm talking about. That's the shit I'm talking about. And they were laughing, and it was a joke to them. But these are the people that my mom put her kids in the care of. People like this. This is the people she trusted. Parents are not. I don't give a fuck if they're fucking parents. And this kind of trauma, and I dealt with other situations like this growing up in that house. Horrible, 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 horrible. Those are just some of the situations I had to deal with. So I say all that to say, And I've forgiven these people for these things. I just don't want to talk to them anymore. You know, it's just like, if you don't ever want to apologize, and some people have a, yeah, you know what? Apology wasn't really sufficient. Well, it didn't suffice for me. So, this will probably be it for the childhood section of my story here. I want to thank you for tuning in. This is part 1, childhood trauma. I know I'm smiling when I say that, but gotta smile, just get fucking through it, man. Gotta smile.